At least so far, Path of Exile 2 Return of the Ancients is an absolute blast and win. We broke the second most concurrent player ever record on Steam already, and we're likely to get even higher today. Grinding Gear Games has addressed some critical issues with the game that did not allow players to patch or log in yesterday for quite some time, and they have eliminated some massive bugs both in the end game, which I am about to reach, and in some interactions with skills that have been long going, which we will talk about in just one moment. And I am loving solo self-found and the league mechanic. In this video, we're going to pull together all of the day one hype and news, look at my progress, and talk about the state of the brand new entries into the Path of Exile repertoire of classes. And let me just say, from the clips I've seen, summoners are eating very well alongside martial artist users. Hi Exiles, Talkative Try here. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more Path of Exile 2 content. Let's hop right into it. First, we got to take a look at the Steam charts. Look at this. We hit a peak of 407,000 players yesterday, thanks to the free-to-play weekend surely on Steam. However, the past two patches did also have free-to-play weekends, but we only hit 353 in 03, 290 in 04, and now we've peaked all the way at 407 in 0.5. This is not yet close to the record of 0.1. I think we will get higher today, but it is good to see that there is still tremendous interest in Path of Exile 2, and it's quite obvious that Grinding Gear Games' marketing strategy that they implemented with videos literally every single day since the reveal did draw a bunch of new players in. My final bet on the peak today is going to be, I'd say, 425,000, but for 1.0, I think we're breaking that max mark of 578,000. And remember, all of this is just on Steam. I know there are a bunch of console players and standalone players like myself that are also logging in. And these numbers might be affected by a critical issue that has now been fixed. Yesterday, when the patch went live, I was fortunate enough to not run into any issues, but some people were having some severe deadlock issues, especially if they were using a build planner. The build planner feature was unfortunately broken, so those who had uploaded builds into their builds file and document folder, they could not start the game and they were deadlocked. There were a variety of other patching issues with both Steam and the independent client, and console had issues just patching the game. Once people actually got into the game, reports, at least from I've seen, of crashes were incredibly rare, and the servers also were quite stable. So as opposed to launches past, the big problem that GGG had was patching, and they were on it, putting in fixes on Saturday morning their time, making sure everything was good to go. And at least so far, I have not seen any other complaints about patching. I've streamed for about 18 hours now, and no one has said anything as of this morning, so we might be in the clear. However, moving on from just the launch shenanigans and into a bunch of fixes that came in this morning in a patch that actually restarted the entire client while I was fighting Viper Napuwatsi. This one fixed something that I haven't even touched yet, so thank you everybody who rushed to endgame and made it a better experience for those slower players among us. I think I'll probably get to endgame in about 10 hours of game time, but a lot of people have been there for a bit, and most of these changes affect the endgame Atlas progression, the Atlas trees, boss fights in the endgame, and they are all being fixed in mass. Grinding Gear Games probably hasn't had an hour of sleep yet, and they are making sure that this patch is going to be the best possible experience for all players, unless your name is Jungroan and you saved your busted build tech for the actual launch, because one of the issues here allowed people to continue running at full speed while using channeling abilities. Now, this has been in Path of Exile 2 since the very beginning. However, there was an interaction with the new Hollow Focus node on the martial artist, where if you just tapped the ability that you wanted to use while channeling, like this for the monk, you would instantly use it but keep moving at full speed. And I have an example that I can show you right now. This right here is the tech they're talking about. Do you see how the monk is channeling briefly, but they're not slowing down at all and they're still using the ability? That is what they fixed. Now, this has been in the game, like I said, since 0.1, but Grinding Gear Games just implemented a fix because used together with the martial artist, this particular ability, it was absolutely busted, and they just hadn't fixed it up until now, but it must have been a pretty easy fix because it is patched out of the game as of this morning, and those people who were using this in their build, like Drungrone, are not happy at all. But I believe it has been confirmed to be a bug for a while. They just didn't fix it until literally 5 hours ago. It was obviously a bug. It only worked if you lightly tapped the button to use the ability, the channeling ability, literally for like a millisecond, unleashed it and just kept moving. It was some very janky tech that you had to master to use, but I really do think it was a bug. It is unfortunate that some people's builds were gutted because of it, but you know, thank you for finding all the actually busted builds for us. Unlike my monk build, which everybody, oh my goodness, it's totally intended, but Fists of Stone, I'm going to use the word busted. It is so much fun. I'll do a little montage on screen right now. Smoothest campaign I've ever had. I'm playing solo self-found. We are cruising through. We are doing the actual combo gameplay. In the beginning, we were using a mix of Wyvern and Quarterstaff abilities. We made the swap to Hollow Palm technique rather quickly. Got that Fists of Stone node, and it just turns your gloves into absolute monsters. Mine in particular quickly got Onslaught on hit. That's what an attack speed converts into. So I had Onslaught on hit in Act 2. I was speeding. I was going so quickly, obliterating everything, using Falling Thunder, Siphoning Strike. It's incredibly fun. I now have Stormwave in the mix there. It really feels good. It feels smooth, and I love how impactful every node is, because after I got Fists of Stone, I got the first Bell node, and the Bell node is a huge quality of life for always being able to be at max power charges essentially during boss fights and pack clearing. You don't even need to worry about culling enemies anymore or using Devour as a Wyvern to get your power charges. You just use the bells because they are always cullable and they spawn way faster than I thought they were. So this tech works very well. If you were a little wary about going martial artist, go ahead, hop in, play martial artist, just like all these other people are. And this is what I mean by that. I thought it would be fun to look at a day one peak of PoE Ninja just to see the spread of classes. It's absolutely ridiculous. I spun a wheel to get martial artists, but I'm sure that was not the case for a lot of these players here. We are sitting on the PoE Ninja ladder, 70,000 characters. These are all high level characters, you guys. We are sitting at 23% martial artist, 14% spirit walker, and then the next highest is 12% and then 5%. Martial Artist, Spirit Walker, and Deadeye are dominating with Tacticians at 5%, and then everything else is way below. Oh my goodness, look at Ritualist at 0.5%, Pathfinder 0.5, Invoker 0.5, Acolyte of Chayula is higher than 4 other Ascendancies if you count Abyssal Lich. This field of play is wild. I'm sure we will see this shift as time goes on, as of course, yes, this is only with people who have their characters exposed to the API. People haven't finalized their builds yet. I just thought it would be a quick, funny peek of the meta. And if we scroll down to the skills that are most used, it's Twister at 14%. And then right after is the Ice Shot Snipe combo. And then Stormwave at 8%. And then the next highest is Explosive Grenade. So what an interesting mix going on here. I am shocked to see Martial Artist at 23%. I honestly am. And I did think that we would be seeing more Twisters on the Huntress classes, but we are not at all. Like, the Spirit Walker is a mix of Twister and minions. It's not solely Twister. Here is just one example of that happening with the minion man himself, Gazi, at the beginning of an Exiled Again video. This is him in Act 3 with basically nothing, just the monkey. He sits there, he does nothing, and everything just dies. He doesn't even do anything. He's just looking at the camera. The minions are slaughtering everything. This is the result that I've heard from a lot of different people. I know Darth Microtransaction is also playing the Pokemon trainer build, and he is enjoying it thoroughly with his boss catching. So if you were skeptical about going companions and minions, don't be. I also had someone in my Discord who one-shot Doriani with the monkey. No, I am not exaggerating, and I do believe this is a reputable source. And then we have the Runes of Alder League mechanic. If you are starting late or just didn't interact with it on your first character, you need to play with this mechanic. It is not complex as I thought it was going to be, and it is super rewarding. There are a bunch of guaranteed drops like lesser and greater jewelers, orbs, spirit gems, and just the basic rewards of the system are tremendous. I'm not short on gems, I'm not short on currency. It gives lots of unique items, and you need to be sure to do the quest line. So many people have come into my chat wondering why they can't add runic ward to their armor. It's because you unlock the various different benches and parts of the crafting by following the quest line in Act 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's none on the interludes as far as I know. I've done the first 4 acts and their quest and the interludes. But the actual league mechanic, you need to go to brand new areas in each act. There are new zones. It's so cool. I love how they've slotted this into the game, and the story is so rich. If you're not listening to it, I'll have to do a recap at some point, but they really integrated this into the Path of Exile 2 campaign in such a great way. I can't wait to see how it evolves further into the actual end game. And just to speak on the campaign changes too, I did see that there are some people that still think Act 3 is too long, but guys, I gotta say, it's so much smoother, so much shorter. Act 1, Act 2, I noticed a couple of the hints, but I never really had big problems with those. Act 3 is where I really thought it became a bit of a drag at some points, as we all did, but the changes there, such as the Matlan waterways being a linear path now with the Azak bog just there on the way, it might be my favorite Act 3 zone now, and I'm not exaggerating at all. There are so many little hidden things that have been dropped in across Act 3, just like the Forge now having this guaranteed ruby ring where you freeze the molten lava using the rune slot. Oh, it's so cool. I just think that if you're still complaining about Act 3 in particular, of course there's a couple things that can be done. I actually think they need to add more bosses to Act 3, but I don't think it needs to be shortened even more. I really don't. I think this is a good job adding all these campaign clues, and I really hope that they do it preemptively with Act 5 and 6 once they're added in 1.0. Oh, also my prediction on Mageblood was 100% accurate. This is what it does. It adds Path of Exile 1 flask buffs to you, but you have to roll it with Divine Orbs. This is actually just so strong. It's probably going to be the most valuable item in Path of Exile 2 aside from a Mirror of Kalandra. There's so many things I have yet to see. I cannot wait to get further into the end game. Let me know, how are you doing in your run through Path of Exile 2 in 0.5 so far in the comments. And if you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next stream or the next video. What is your state of 0.5? See ya.